Quadratic formula. So we're going to go through the quadratic formula. We'll relate standard form and factor form again. This is a relatively simple one that we could factor really quickly, but we're just going to test it to make sure we can implement the quadratic formula. Think of it as ways checking. This always works. As long as there's roots, I will find the roots using this. Factoring, it works if the numbers are really nice. I mean, if I'm very mentally strong, I can find decimal factors that are like 10 digits long, but that's a really difficult skill set to have. I don't know anybody has. I definitely don't. So this is a much easier method. So for questions like this, hey, you probably don't have to use it, but it's good to know that it works for everything. So that's what we're going to try to attempt here. I know you said you already were able to factor this one really quickly. In fact, if you factor it, let me get into our stylus here. If you factor it, you would have got negative x minus 5, x plus 2. Is that what you got when you factored this?
Wait, what did you get?
If you had factored,
Yeah, I got that.
yeah, okay, great. So we know factoring it.
I got it x plus 2, then x minus 5.
Oh yeah, the order doesn't matter. That's something called associative property. Think of it like this. Let's say I was looking. This is associative property. Okay, so associative property. The number 15. I know that is equal to 3 times 5. But what if we rearrange it? 5 times 3? Yep, that checks out. In multiplication, it doesn't matter the order we do it in. It works out. Addition does the same. Subtraction does not. For instance, 3 minus 5 does not hold this property. 5 minus 3, that property does not hold. If we change the order of things in subtraction, that property doesn't exist. Okay, so that's just a little mathematical side note. Easily factorable. Let's actually put it through. We got to know what the A value is, the B value, and C. First of all, in order to use quadratic formula, we need to make sure we're in standard form. Luckily, we are, okay? But if we're in factored form, well, we've already got to what we need. We don't need to find out factors. And if we're in vertex form and we really want to go through quadratic formula, we'll have to change it back to the standard form. Because recall that this uses A, and that A refers to the A in the factored form, standard form, uses a B, which is the B in the standard form, and uses a C, which is the C from standard form. Okay, so this is directly related to the standard form of a quadratic. We better write that in here. It's very important that we know we're in that. Okay, with that being said, let's just start plugging values in. This shouldn't be too mind-boggling here. This is negative B. So if this is negative 3, that's actually going to become positive 3. Think of it like that. Think of it, or I'll write it all out so we do step-by-step version. It's like negative of a negative 3. Plus or minus, it's going to be division, square root of, we have the B value here, again, is negative 3 squared minus 4 times the A value. The A value here, there was no number written there. So it's actually really important we realize that the coefficient would be 1 in this case. So we have just the 1 value. And the constant, C, is negative 10. So we're going to write down negative 10, squeeze it in there. All over 2 times A, which again is 1. Okay? In our next line, well, negative 3, or negative 1 times negative 3 gives us a positive value. We still have plus or minus because we know the square root of anything gives us 2 answers of both a positive and a negative value. Negative 3 squared gives us 9. I did it again. Actually, instead of erasing have do work, there's an attempt at a 9, not bad. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and which is negative 4 times negative 10 is positive 40. So we get positive 40 and then divided by 2. This gives us 3 plus or minus the square root of 49, which is a number we can actually get off the top of our head. Because it's plus or minus, there's going to be 2 values. We'll call it, x1 is one answer and x2 is the other. And in x1, we'll write 3 plus the square root. Square root of 49 is 7. So 3 positive 7 divided by 2. And 3 minus 7, right? Because negative 7 times negative 7 gives us positive 49 also, so that's a solution. Negative 3 minus 7 is negative 4, divided by 2 is negative 2. 3 plus 7 is 10, divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so in terms of creating the factored form, I'm going to try to squeeze it in on the side here. We know y is equal to, the a value is the same, which is 1. I don't have to write it in, but we get x minus 5, x minus negative 2, which is the same as saying plus 2. And that checks out, we got our factored form. Okay, so this was too easy of a question to probably use quadratic formula on, but it is a way of checking. We could have factored. Okay, was